Hello everyone, and welcome to Beyond SEO with Growthack.io, where we look at what really drives growth for brands. From search and content to product, data, and strategy, we dive into the ideas and conversations that go way beyond SEO. I'm Glenn, and today I'm joined by the team at Growthack, by Kevin and Sarif. Hi guys, how are you?
Yeah, good. All good.
Yeah, all good.
Really excited to have you guys on today to be talking about the future. And yes, this is a topic I'm quite excited about because obviously I'm still fresh into the Growthack economy. So I'm really looking forward to be chatting about this with you guys. But before we kickstart, if you could give a brief introduction to yourself and your backgrounds. Starting with you, Kevin.
Yeah, so I'm Kevin. I'm the director and founding SEO consultant. My previous experience, my last job was around 5 years ago. Before Growthack started, I was the SEO specialist at Experian, B2B team for the EMEA region and UK and Ireland. And then previous to that, I was agency side. So yeah, I got a lot of experience helping brands big and small grow revenue, which is what we're in business for.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Sarif, and I am a SEO and content strategist at Growthack, where I look after the content from blogs to landing pages from clients from a variety of industry, from B2B, eCommerce to SaaS. And I have been with Growthack for over 2.5 years. I started as an intern. Now I'm currently working as a strategist.
So in a previous episode, we were basically talking about Growthack's 5th year anniversary, which is really, really exciting because in terms of obviously me coming from a fresh pair of eyes, I can definitely see a lot that we can do to really kind of kick on essentially. And I wanted to ask you guys in terms of first question, from a next 5 years perspective, where do you yourselves see Growthack?
Well, that's it's a very difficult question.
I know it's like looking into the ether.
Somebody recently said I think they went to one of the big accounting firms. They had a presentation, and they're saying basically if you have a 5-year plan, just rip it up. You can barely look into 18 months ahead. So I think right now I'm thinking about how can we get us to the next stage over the next 6 to 12 months. I think that's where I'm looking at it. Yes, there is kind of like maybe a broader vision, but to get there, the next 6 to 12 months are key. And for me is trying to ensure that I'm in the best position to help the business grow. A lot of the time I was working in the business as in implementing, doing all the SEO myself. I like to think of it as I was an SEO consultant with an assistant, that being Sarif.
And that is very true because I was the assistant for Kevin.
Every I guess crazy scientist needs an assistant or something, right? But yeah, and that model, it's okay, but it's not going to help us grow. You're always confined, and everything's kind of relying on one person. And now it's just about empowering everybody in the team to take more responsibility. Sarif's now stepped up into a full-time role, which is great. So he's building up to be our content lead. And then Glenn, you've joined recently, and then you're taking on the responsibility of being our technical lead. And then eventually, hopefully, we grow into a position where we get somebody in who's a bit more strategic. And then who knows, maybe get somebody in who's a bit more creative. Those are like the four key areas that I see that will enable us to grow a bit more. And then of course, one of our big selling points, I think, is that we take on the account management responsibility ourselves as specialists. So I don't see that changing, but maybe we might have a project manager, maybe part-time for certain things. But I would never see us, having that account management kind of model. I guess I'm kind of the account manager now, but it's only just due to the relationship, the pre-existing relationship that I have with our clients. I think in the future, Glenn, for sure, you'll be taking on more responsibility in terms of the communication, etc. Sarif, you're kind of doing that already with the content side of things. I think we all will just take on more responsibility. And then allow us to grow.
Yeah, that's such a key part as well. In a previous episode, we're basically saying SEO and also other marketing channels like paid ads as an example. That's obviously one part of the discipline. You also need to, like what you said before, Kevin, think about the communications, conveying what you're doing to the client. And yeah, I agree 100% on that. Being able to still have the account management side of things, as opposed to, I suppose, offloading that elsewhere, can kind of limit you in terms of your capabilities and skill sets, which obviously, Sarif, like you said before, being able to kind of do a large amount of different stuff, and obviously account management being one of them, speaking to clients, helps you structure what you do in terms of like tasks and activities, whether that's SEO, paid ads, or anything related to marketing, with the mindset of the fact that, oh, I've spoken to the client like face to face or nowadays virtually. And you can then tailor what you're looking to plan out in terms of tasks based on the conversation that you had, as opposed to, relying on someone else to have that conversation and you're just doing the implementation. So yeah, that's 100% true. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
And touching on the first question, well, this next question touches on, or closely is tied to the first question. What excites you about the future at Growthack? Because I know, say 5 years down the line, it's kind of hard to really look that far ahead. But in terms of just, things that we're working on at the moment, what really excites you, whether that's clients or future things that are upcoming, like projects? Or
I think what really excites me is, I think where we are right now is pretty exciting. So I think we just need to acknowledge that. If you told me 18 months ago that we'd be in this position, I'd be very excited by that. That we've got a team in place. We've got clients that have trusted us through the good times and bad times, because there've been some rocky periods, but they're still sticking with us. We've got a law firm that we've been working with, a national law firm that we've been working with for over 3-4 years now, and they've kind of just trusted us throughout that journey. So I think what excites me the most really is just building on what we've got now. I think we need to recognize what we've achieved. Even yourself, Glenn, you've come in, and there is so much promise in terms of what we can do now as a team. I think we can do a lot more as a team together than what either of us can do alone. And, we just need to build on what we've got right now. And I think, 18 months from now, it'd be nice to look back and say, oh, wow, yes, we've come a long way. I think that excites me, like the growth personally that we can achieve together.
Yeah, 100%. And just before you just literally touch on it, there's a quote that I pulled up a while ago that inspired this episode, where it essentially said, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go further, go as a team or go together. So touching on that, it made me think about obviously that transition from what you literally just touched on before, when you were just working as a consultant, to now slowly building a team. What's that transition been like for you, working as, I suppose, solo, to then obviously building a team?
Yeah, I think it's been really good. I say I have to recognize that it's a very privileged position to be able to do consulting, to have the experience to do that. First and foremost, I've been working in my professional capacity as an SEO specialist or marketing specialist for over 8 years now. And, for the first half of that 8 years, moving from just not knowing to, knowing enough to be able to offer your services and people to pay for your services. And then going from that to building something that clients can invest in and people can invest in. You've invested your time and your expertise into Growthack. So I definitely appreciate that. So I think just transitioning through that period, it's been a lot of growth, I think, for me personally. And I literally had to find an operations consultant to help me make that transition, because it was very scary. Something I'd never done before. I had a lot of personal doubt. I think one of the things that I'm guilty of is that sometimes I don't realize what I'm capable of. I tend to focus on, what's broken, what needs fixing. Sometimes I kind of just miss the opportunity of, oh, but how about if everything goes well? How about if I can make it work. And I always try and spot the issues, spot the pitfalls before they happen.
Yeah, and I think that's like a natural human thing. I think evolution, from an evolution perspective, the brain is hardwired to look for danger.
Yes.
In this case, like I suppose what's not working or what could be improved, essentially. But yeah, it's quite a hard switch to make, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's partly the problem of being an SEO specialist, because that is literally our job. We are there to spot the danger.
Yeah.
So I think being in that mindset and then trying to shift that mindset to, okay, not spotting the danger, but spotting the wonderful possibilities that are on the other side of risk. Because that's essentially the journey and shifting that mindset. So I had to have somebody come in and say, oh, no, but look at this. No, you should be thinking bigger. You should be thinking about this. I was like, I never thought about that before, because I was just in my little bubble. So yeah, just expanding that mindset has been a game changer.
Yeah, 100%. And before we go back to the future stuff, because Sarif, I would love to get your take on what you're excited about. For those people who are in the position that you're in of consultant, but they want to make that jump to having a team because, say, for example, they want to scale up, or they've got a lot of clients and they want to kind of have support, what advice or recommendations would you give those people who want to make that leap? Because it can be quite a nerve-wracking leap, I suppose, if you want to make that jump.
It is. It's nerve-wracking. I think to make that leap, right, you have to think about where you want to be in the future, right? We're talking about the future here. So, okay, let's say you just continue being a consultant for the next 10 years of your life. Are you happy, trading your time for money, working on the clock, working, late nights? Because, when you're a consultant, when I was a consultant, there was a lot of late nights. There was a lot of like evenings, weekends where I was working because I had to, because I was the only person there to deliver the work. And you're sacrificing a lot of your time to do other things. So let's say, you want to have a family in the next 10 years. Let's say you want to do other things in your personal life. You kind of then have to focus on shifting from what you're doing now to doing something a bit different. Otherwise, you are going to be in that position, literally still working those late nights, etc. So I think that will maybe make it easier to understand, what you need to do, and maybe that might remove some of the nerves from making that leap, and then try and figure it out. Because no one has the answers, and I certainly didn't have the answers when I was trying to make that shift. So I was just trying to figure it out day by day, month by month, and then getting other people who've been on that journey already or who've got experience and learning from them. That's also helped. I certainly don't know everything, and I'm quite comfortable with admitting that I don't know everything. So I'm happy to bring somebody in who knows a lot more than me and then just learn from them.
Yeah, well, that was beautifully put. And going back to what's exciting you for the future, Sarif, obviously, like you said before in the previous episode, how you joined Growthack at the midway point to where you are now. Based on obviously your time at Growthack, what are you most excited about for the future?
Yeah, I think it's the team because since you have joined the team, Glenn, I think me and Kevin felt the difference in
thank you.
our ability to do things. Because previously it was just Kevin was doing the SEO side, and since you have joined, you bring your own expertise and how you do things from the SEO side, which does also open both of our eyes, like look at other things outside of what we do normally. And I think going forward, I think we don't want to be too big team. However, we want to be like a lean team, like people of expertise who knows their stuff. Because we don't do everything. As we said previously, we just specialize in SEO. And another thing would be clients. Of course, without the clients, we wouldn't be able to get the bills paid on a monthly basis. So I think client-wise, of course, we would like to, even personally, I think from my side, I do enjoy working with B2B clients as well as e-commerce. The reason I say B2B, I think it's quite a boring industry, even though it's quite interesting for those who are in the industry. But from someone like me outside of the industry, it felt like it is boring when you do SEO. However, when you do, let's say, consumer-based B2C brand, e-commerce, there's a lot of things going on because there's always going to be loads of tests that is happening because you have loads of products if you are e-commerce. Whereas B2B, again, we do work with B2B as well as B2C, whether it's e-commerce or service-based businesses. I think from my side, I think industry-wise, I would like to see us grow into both B2B as well as e-commerce because we do specialize in those. We have really good case study for those as well. So even because I don't want to work in just one industry and not knowing anything else other than that industry. I don't know what you think, Kevin, speaking of the industry.
Yeah, let me just jump in there because B2B has got this, it's been known as the boring industry, but I want to challenge that because I think it's actually really exciting. And the fact that we have worked with a B2B brand, a very exciting brand, and to take them on that journey from, when we started with them to being acquired, I think is one of the most exciting things that I've done in my personal career. I've certainly never, I have experienced that for, let's say, working for a big corporate company like Experian, but to do that with a growing brand that's self-funded, based in Watford, and taking them on that journey to where they wanted to go, working with a really small marketing team, that has been very exciting. So I think, yes, B2B has this label of being boring, but I think it's one of the most exciting industries because e-commerce, I feel, yes, it's got the exciting label.
It's like sounds great. It sounds like sexy.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
It sounds great, but I think a lot of what we do in e-commerce is very repetitive. It is very much, we're doing the same old thing. The funnel is quite linear. We got to get people to check out, etc. So it's a bit of an easier journey. Whereas B2B, there's so many different elements. There's so many different things, so many different pathways for somebody to become a customer. Whereas e-commerce is just literally about the checkout. That's what we're optimizing for, pretty much. But with B2B, it's a bit more, interesting. I think
forces you to think outside of your skill set, essentially.
You're forced to think outside of your marketing skill set for sure.
Yeah.
Also another thing regarding the B2B industry, I think you really need to need some patience when you do SEO for B2B clients because, for example, let's say you do all the work in 2 months or 3 months, you may not see the results because as Kevin said, the life cycle of the buying journey for B2B it could be 6 months, it could be 6 years sometime. Whereas e-commerce, you can just do the work and see the results immediately. So, of course, I do prefer both industry, e-commerce and B2B. However, the workload from SEO side as well as from the brand side for B2B brands usually stays consistent from month to month. Whereas B2C, some month you have the workload is huge, and other months it might be reduced. So it does fluctuate month to month. So yeah, I mean, again, from outside, even for somebody who doesn't really know about B2B, how does it work? It sounds boring, but once you know the industry, once you know their products, how does it sell? Who does it sell to? And it is quite exciting brands, but in a nutshell, from somebody who doesn't really know anything about B2B, it is boring.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
And obviously going back to what we're talking about of what you're excited about, or what excites you for the future for Growthack, I think for me, from my perspective, obviously still being fresh into, like I said, the Growthack economy, the number one thing is, you touched on it, both of you guys actually touched on it, is building a small effective team. I like to think of it like special forces, where you can compete against like the bigger agencies who may have like so many account managers or so many people working on X, but us on our side building an efficient team that's lean but can get really strong results. That's what I'm really excited about for the future, because obviously, like what you said before, Kevin, getting the best people in as opposed to having a large quantity of people, that's something I'm quite excited about. And secondly, another thing as well that I'm really looking forward to is the awards, because we've got really good clients. And obviously, since I've joined Growthack, the clients that after speaking to them and having a bit of time working on the actual websites and everything like that, I'm excited by the growth potential, because from what I've seen, there's a lot of growth potential in a lot of the accounts. And I'm looking at I suppose the awards, even though I'm not looking too far ahead, but I'm just excited by the potential that's there for basically all the accounts that we've got and that we're working on. So those are the two main things I'm quite excited about.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when we first, had a conversation, one of the clients that you've taken on, when we started working with them, they were always in the negative, like, revenue's down year on year, like each month we're having the same conversation. And now back-to-back months recently, revenue's been up, like significantly up. I think she was quoted as saying 36% up year on year in her industry, which is crazy. And she literally said in her industry, everyone's experiencing flat growth, like no one's really growing. So if you're doing just about as good as last year, then you're okay. And, you've come in and, we've helped that brand achieve that growth. So yeah, it's exciting. We are special forces in that nature. We come in and then we make sure we get the job done and
also,
bring in the best people.
Yeah, just to touch up on that. Also, another thing clients love to work with us is that we don't really have any account manager in place. So it's just they get to work directly with SEO. For example, it could be you, Glenn, or it could be Kevin, or it could be myself, directly with the clients. So client knows, okay, this is the person I'll be speaking to. Because sometimes when you have another person in the middle, the conversation might chip here and there. Like
miscommunication here.
So that's another thing client do stay with us in terms of doing the SEO for them.
Yeah, 100%. No, that makes sense. And looking at the 5-year anniversary, in the future, when we have another 5-year anniversary, like another 5 years on, what would you guys like to be saying in that future episode? I know, Kevin, you've said before, you don't want to look too far ahead.
Yeah.
But, from a potential perspective, what would you like to be saying?
For a potential perspective, I'd like us to be recognized as doing really good work. I think that's one of the key things that I've always wanted to achieve in Growthack. I want us to be recognized for doing good work. Yes, awards may seem quite egotistical or, whatever. Oh yeah, look at me kind of thing. But the reason why we do these awards is so that we're recognized for doing good work, and our clients are recognized for doing good work themselves, as brands, as marketing teams. So I want us to be recognized for doing that. And I've always got a lot of self-fulfillment from doing good work. So yeah, next 5 years, I want to look back and say, yeah, we worked on this, we worked on that, I remember that brand that we helped do X, Y, Z. I'd want us to have all these different stories of companies that we work with, and say, yeah, we've achieved a lot with them. So yeah, that's I think the thing that I'm most looking forward to is just expanding on doing even better work than we're doing now. And I think we're in a good position to do that with the team that we've got in place.
Awesome. And final point from you, Sarif, what would you like to be saying in our future anniversary episode?
I'll probably say glad I trusted the process, because we are still part of the process. So yeah, as Kevin said, we have a lot on the pipeline to do for the clients, as well as for ourselves, improving what we do for the clients. Within next 5 years, I think, again, it goes back to how we're currently doing things, like doing good work, going to awards and winning awards, which does feel nice at that time. And also building the team. Of course, we are quite a small team now. We just want to keep doing what we do. And anything else within the 5 years? No, I don't know. It might be a bit too long to think about it.
No, that's why I asked really, because it kind of gives you something to work towards, essentially. I think for me personally, just final point for me, going back to what I said, like Special Forces having a lean team that is well known for getting big results, essentially, because I took inspiration from what you said before, Kevin, of like not really focusing on a large team, essentially, just focusing in on people who are really good at what they do. And, if we're competing against the big boys or the big agencies, we were able to compete 100% because we've got the talent, not because of quantity, but because of quality. So I'd say that's something I want to be saying, in future anniversary episodes. So, but yeah, guys, thank you so much for that. And for the listeners, guys, I hope you got a ton of value out of this episode. Be sure to like and follow the podcast, and we shall see you guys in the next episode. See ya.
And if you are an e-commerce or B2B brand that's looking for growth, be sure to get in touch. We've got space just for a few more clients before the end of this year. And we only work with clients that are a great fit for us, and hopefully we're a great fit for you. So yeah, be sure to get in touch and let us know. Thank you.